IP Stretch, 7 videos stretching you further on your IP journey. The topic for this video is ENERGIZE, where we're going to actually just focus on one part of ENERGIZE, and that is nerves, but an extreme part of nerves and a process for those situations where you're under the most strain, I guess. So we all feel nerves at different times in slightly different ways, and we know many things about how to handle that. We're all experienced enough to work our way through most of them. But sometimes we do feel like a real bag of nerves, something really quite extreme. But that's unusual. Normally, maybe it's a cup of nerves, or maybe it's a soupçon of nerves. And sometimes, though not as often as we might like, we have no nerves at all. Now, we're experienced enough to know that actually that's an issue. In these scenarios, you actually need to get your heart rate up. You need to feel the pressure because no nerves is bad. But still, we're not going to focus on that today. And we know that a soupçon of nerves, that's lovely. And even a cup of nerves is a little unpleasant, but is fine for important presentations. What we're going to focus on is this one. This rare occasion where for some of us, we really are feeling an extreme of nervousness, which is actually going to get in the way of our message. And though all the warm-up exercises that we do within the course are going to help, let's look at something a little bit different. And I'm going to talk about a single technique I read about years ago called anchoring. So, you're aware you've got a big presentation coming up. Maybe it's an unusually large audience. Or maybe it's an unusually important presentation which is going to make or break your career. And you know, and you have experienced perhaps before, that you might feel a level of nerves which really is going to be counterproductive as well as unpleasant. So you can try anchoring. Let me explain the process and some of my personal experience using it myself. So, step 1 is you recall a scenario, a presentation in your, or some sort of form of performance in your past where you have done, to be frank, really well. You have gone out in front of people and succeeded. It might be a business presentation. It might have been a presentation at university. It might have been a sporting occasion. It might have been some amateur dramatics piece of performance that you've done in your past. And what you do is you find that story that you think, yeah, that makes me feel good. And intermittently, step 2, you sit down, you close your eyes, and you remember what happened. You remembered where you were. You remembered what you were doing and how you did it. And you remember the audience response, and you can see and hear their result, their response, their you being great. The third thing you do is you add a physical action over time. So you sit down, I don't know, every couple of days and do this for 2 or 3 minutes, but you start adding an action as you sit there, recalling this time, you add an action, and mine, for a while, was that. 2 little fingers crossed over. Do that action while recalling that time where you did great. And I did do great. You repeat that again a little bit over some time, and you can imagine where this is coming to. It means that when you do get to that point where you are sitting just off the stage, ready to stand up and give that career-defining presentation, where normally the knot of nerves could be at its greatest, you sit. You do it in reverse in a way. You do the action and then use that to help you recall the sensation of that story of how well you did. I'm not saying you're going to lose all your nerves, and we don't want to lose our nerves, but by gosh, it gives you that boost of confidence that can really get you from a bag of nerves to a cup of nerves, or maybe even a soupçon of nerves, and then step forward onto the stage to do what you need to do. Anchoring. If you need it, try it.